simplicity. Okay, Mahatma Gandhi from India, he has this kind of lifestyle, a very simple lifestyle, without having this modern mass consumption. Okay, and one of the popular words that he said is that the whole planet is enough for everybody's need, but not enough for one person's greed. I'm telling you again, the whole planet is enough. The whole planet is enough for everybody's need, but not enough for one person's greed. Because our greed, is absolutely unbridled. It's totally limitless, right? So it's not enough for even one person's greed. So that's why there is a need to have some kind of limit in our greed, so that we can share the whole planet and live in a sustainable manner, right? So, but this approach is not telling us to go back to the earlier society and have a traditional lifestyle. It is telling that we can still have the same kind of lifestyle, but we need to do something else. And that is the third point, is that they are looking for another modernization. Okay? Sometimes they call it super industrialization. And how that will be happening? And we have to promote that kind of modernization through, for example, environmentally friendly technologies. A lot of technologies that we have today, for example, coal technologies, that is actually disrupting the whole environment. And that's why these technologies need to be reframed, reshaped, or changed to something which is environmentally friendly. Okay? Then we need to have green consumerism. Okay, every single citizen of the whole planet need to have that, green consumerism. That means you need to change your own lifestyle. Okay, you have to think that you have to consume those commodities which are environmentally friendly, socially responsible, as well as culturally viable. Okay, and also talking about the transformation of state policies towards sustainability. Every single country should change their state policies towards this sustainable goal. And this is how we can solve our problems. So if you look at the next slide, you can see the progression of human society from the current capitalist paradigm to something which is known as the ecological modernization. Okay, we had the industrial breakthrough, that is industrial revolution, and then the society moved to the construction of industrial society based on manufacturing and servicing. Singapore, for example, previously it was based on manufacturing, and now it is largely based on servicing, right? Health servicing is one of the examples. Health tourism is one of the money-making industries in this country. Then super industrialization. So now the existing industries need to be switched by ecological principles, right? So the whole industrial reshape will be totally based on a new kind of ecological principles. That it has to be environmental friendly. For example, previously we used to dump the toxic chemicals in the ocean. And that is probably a thing of the past. We have to treat that toxic chemicals in a system, and then when we neutralize it, and in a manner that will not disturb the problem, disturb the oceanic system, and then we can dump it in the ocean. And in many cases, some of these Singaporean technologies are doing that. For example, human waste is recycled, and finally, when it is not harmful to the species in the ocean, at that time it is dumped. Okay? So these are some of the technologies we have in Singapore. And finally, a new kind of society will come, which is known as ecological modernization, which is based on green economy, natural capitalism, right? So this is the natural progression of the capitalist society. Currently, probably we are living between the first and second, and probably some of the countries have, to some extent moved to the third stage, but we need to move to the fourth stage to have a totally sustainable society. Okay? So we are living in a period in which we are actually facing the consequences. So delay is not an acceptable option. So these are some of the examples. Some corporations, some companies, are now moving towards that direction. when you buy different kinds of commodities, they have different kinds of logo, right? These are all sometimes known as green logo, okay? They try to make sure that the commodity is environmentally sound, socially responsible, and culturally friendly. And based on that, they have this kind of certification. Okay, this is something we call certification. So certification is one of the examples of ecological modernization. And then, so how to achieve ecological modernization? There are many complicated issues, but I'm just giving you some of the issues. Here we call free market environmentalism, in which voluntary actions by corporations and consumers can improve the environment. So if all the corporations, if all the corporations can voluntarily switch their operation to something which is environmentally friendly, then obviously a lot of problems will be solved. Okay? And secondly, if all consumers, like all of us, want to buy only ecologically friendly kind of commodities, then definitely the producers will be producing accordingly, right? If we decide that we'll be buying only the certified seafood, for example, then obviously the corporations or the supermarkets will be buying those certified seafood, okay? If we decide that in Singapore we will not buy any paper which is not certified by a credible certification scheme, then obviously the logging will not be happening, illegal logging or haze problem will be solved to a great extent. Okay? So it largely depends on the consumers, right? As well as the corporations. Many corporations like Starbucks and fair trade coffee, they are actually trying to make sure that their commodities are environmentally friendly, socially responsible, and culturally viable. As far as green consumerism is concerned, this is what we can do as a citizen. And this is part of the demand of the ecological modernization. The most preferable to least preferable, right? The most preferable is avoid and ignore, then reduce, then reuse, recycle, recover, retreat, then retreat, and finally dispose. Okay, this is how we can change our society towards a sustainable manner. And then the second policy is known as the policy of reformist sustainable development. If all the leaders of the whole world can change their policies towards sustainable development, then a lot of problems will be solved. Okay, the president will be thinking of the whole country. If I am the leader of my family, I have to make sure that all of my consumption are environmentally friendly, right? If I am the leader of a community, of a student group, then I have to make sure that my community, my group is also practicing environmentally sustainable practices. So if every single leader, starting from the bottom to the top of the whole world, can think of sustainability in their operation, in their laws, in their regulation, then that will actually solve the problem. Okay? And this is one of the examples, what you can do. Okay? About water, for example. Okay? Don't leave tap running while you are doing other things. Sometimes you brush your teeth and the water is just falling. Okay? The water does not come automatically in this country. It involves a huge investment, millions of dollars. A portion of the water is coming from Malaysia. You have to desalinate water from seawater to fresh water. You have to capture the rainwater to recycle and make it fresh water. All these involve a lot of money. But think about that. Number one. Secondly, if you buy new dishwater, get an energy efficient one. Take shower rather than bath. Okay, if you buy a new toilet, buy a water saving one. Okay. Also install a flow constrictor device on the when you actually go for showers. Okay. Think about that. It's a very simple practice. If every single citizen of this country can save 1 gallon of water every day by just being a little bit of environmentally friendly, this is called, a green consumerism, right? So if we can save 1 gallon of water one day, what does it mean? It means that we have about 6 million people here, right? So we are saving about 6 million gallons of water every single day. And if we add up and add up, so at the end of the year, we are basically, after the end of the year, we are saving 2,190 billion. That is more than 2 billion gallons of water every single year. So this is how we can do. Okay? Overconsumption, a day of overconsumption is actually over. Okay? So the question is it sustainable or possible? And here is the answer. Yes. But it's not easy. Okay? It requires international, so in a personal level, probably you can do a lot of things, but as you know that a lot of things are absolutely embedded in the international scene. So that's why international agreements are absolutely needed. Okay? And in this university, as a sociologist, I teach courses like environmental sustainability, environmental sociology, and so on. So I try to look at these environmental issues from a very global perspective. Okay? What kind of treaties we have, what kind of international engagement we can have. So these are absolutely fascinating studies that we are doing and teaching in this university. So what you understand is that it is immensely, I'll do it now. So it is immensely challenging, right? And why it is challenging? It is because power conflict, differences of opinion, and diverse local dynamics, right? Every single day, we are thinking differently, right? I'm thinking in one way, probably will be thinking different way. Education is absolutely needed. Probably Singapore is thinking in one way, the other countries are thinking in a different way. America is thinking in one way, the other country is thinking in a different way. So we have differences of opinion, we have power conflict, right? As well as we have different local dynamics, right? The poor countries, they are probably thinking to, how to feed their stomach when they are hungry. But the rich countries, probably they are thinking how to fill up their gas tank of their vehicle, right? So priorities are different. So because of these diversity, we may not have always some kind of international agreements, and that's why we are facing a lot of problems. And I'm going to give you just an example, a kind of joke, that will actually tell how diverse we are. Okay? Last month, a worldwide survey was conducted by, and with this I'm going to send, I'm going to end my lecture. Last month, a worldwide survey was conducted by United Nations. The only question asked was, could you please give your honest opinion about solutions to the food shortage in the rest of the world? I told you that the amount of food we are having can feed 10 billion people. We have now 7.1 billion people, right? But every single day, 50,000 people are dying because of hunger, because they don't have any food. So what is the solution to this problem? And now you can see the answer. The survey was a massive failure because of the following. Okay? Number one, in Western Europe, they didn't know what shortage means. They are so rich, probably. They don't know what shortage means. In Africa, they don't know what food means. Right? Because they are always hungry. In China, they don't know what opinion means. In the Middle East, they don't know what solution means. They're always talking and talking and talking without any solution. Okay? In South Africa, they don't know. In South America, they don't know what please means. I don't know why. Okay? And in United States, really problematic, right? And in Indian subcontinent, they didn't know what honest means. Okay? And that's basically the problem that we are facing today. Any questions? I am done. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask now. We still have a couple of minutes.
If not, ladies and gentlemen, the School of Humanities and Social Sciences General Paper Day is coming to an end. We hope you have gleaned useful insights from today's speeches. We will also